Here are the top 6 valuable Washington $quarter coins, focusing on ultra-state, higher grade, typically MS-65 and above, value and errors. Errors: double strikes, off-center, or die clashes. High-grade examples with noticeable errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or weak strikes, tend to fetch a premium among collectors. Hold on to your seats, coin collectors. What if I told you that your everyday quarter could be worth thousands, yes, thousands, of dollars? In this video, we're diving into one of the most incredible Washington quarter errors of 1969, an anomaly so rare and valuable that it could make you a small fortune. Stick with me until the end to uncover the shocking value and history of these rare quarters. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Old Child Coin 4 community for more mind-blowing coin finds. The rare 1969 Washington quarter error, value and history. Coins, especially vintage and rare ones, are often more than just pocket change. They can be valuable treasures waiting to be discovered. Among them, the 1969 Washington quarter error is one of the most sought-after and elusive pieces. Let's dive deep into the history, significance, and the rare error that makes this coin so incredibly valuable. A coin with a storied past. The Washington quarter, first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, has had a long and storied history. By 1969, the design had remained largely unchanged, depicting Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. However, not all 1969 Washington quarters were created equally. Some were struck with unique errors that have driven collectors crazy with excitement and anticipation. The 1969 quarter error, the holy grail for collectors. What makes the 1969 Washington quarter error so remarkable? The coin's error is typically associated with a misstrike, a minting mistake that creates unusual features or variations in the design. One of the most notable and valuable errors is the double die reverse or double die obverse error, where the design appears to be struck twice, creating a ghost image that is slightly off-center. This misalignment is highly desirable to collectors due to its rarity. Another famous error occurs with the off-center strikes, where the image and the details are not properly aligned. Coins with this kind of error are extremely rare, and they can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on their condition and how dramatic the error is. The more significant the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. The value of a 1969 Washington quarter error. What's the value of these 1969 Washington quarter errors? Well, it's not just about the coin's rarity. The condition, the specific type of error, and whether it has been certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can dramatically impact its price. A typical 1969 Washington quarter with a minor error might still fetch $1,000 to $2,000. Coins with more prominent errors or in mint condition can reach values between $3,000 to $5,000. In rare cases, if the error is especially dramatic or the coin is in excellent condition, the value can soar anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000 or more. In fact, there are reports of 1,969 quarters with errors being sold at auctions for even higher amounts, depending on the market demand and collector interest. The hunt for rare coins, why they're so valuable. Coin errors are rare by nature. A small mistake during the minting process can result in something incredibly valuable. As the years go by, the chances of finding one of these rare coins become slimmer, making those that remain on the market incredibly sought after. For collectors, the excitement is not just in the coin itself but in the thrill of the hunt. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual coin enthusiast, stumbling upon a rare 1969 Washington quarter error could mean striking gold. Some lucky individuals have found these rare coins in their everyday change, and once they're discovered, they quickly make headlines in the coin collecting world. Final thoughts. So, what's the bottom line? If you happen to come across a 1969 Washington quarter with any unusual errors, be it a double die, off-center strike, or another unique variation, don't just spend it. That small piece of history might just be worth more than you could ever imagine. With values ranging from $1,000 to $10,000 or more, this rare error coin could make you a small fortune. Call to action. Make sure you don't miss out on more incredible coin discoveries like this. Subscribe to Old Child Coin 4, and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know about rare finds, coin values, and much more. Join the community, and let's continue the exciting journey of collecting together. The 1970 D Washington quarter is notable to collectors because of some specific error types that occurred during its minting. One common error that has garnered attention involves the misplacement of the mint mark or other details, leading to a misstrike. One error that has been noted is the double die variety, where certain details on the coin are doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. In these cases, the "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" inscriptions can be seen with extra thickness or a doubling effect, making the coin more valuable to collectors. Another issue that can be found in the 1970 D quarter is a possible filled die error, where the minting die wears down, causing some letters or numbers to become partially or completely filled. This can make parts of the coin, such as the mint mark, appear blurred or even missing. Collectors who specialize in error coins often seek these types of anomalies, as they can increase the coin's value significantly compared to a standard 1970 D quarter, which is generally worth face value unless it is in a higher grade. As of now, the 1970 D Washington quarter in typical uncirculated condition can be worth between $5 to $10, but if the coin features a noticeable error, its value could rise, especially if the error is well documented and confirmed by experts. If you suspect that you have a rare 1970 D quarter with a noteworthy error, it's advisable to have it professionally appraised or graded by a numismatic service to confirm the error and determine its current market value. The 1971 Washington quarter, like many coins, can have a variety of errors and rare features that increase its value to collectors. Generally, a 1971 Washington quarter in average condition, circulated, is worth only face value, 25 cents. However, certain rare errors and conditions can make the 1971 quarter highly sought after, and in some cases, quite valuable. Common errors in the 1971 Washington quarter. Double die reverse, DDR. One of the most famous errors for the 1971 Washington quarter is the double die reverse, where the reverse side of the coin features a noticeable doubling of the design elements, such as the eagle's feathers, the E Pluribus Unum motto, or the United States of America inscription. This error happens when the coin is struck more than once, and during the second strike, the die is slightly misaligned. Die crack. A die crack is another error that can appear on 1971 quarters. This occurs when a crack forms on the coin's die, and the raised line appears on the coin's surface. While not as visually striking as a double die error, a die crack can still add some value, particularly if it's large or unusually located. Filled die errors. Sometimes, the minting die may become clogged with debris or suffer wear that causes part of the design to become indistinct or filled. On a 1971 Washington quarter, this can manifest as portions of the design, such as the mint mark or letters, becoming distorted or completely filled in. Clipped planchet. This occurs when the metal planchet used to strike the coin is improperly cut, causing part of the coin to be missing or clipped when it's struck. While this error is rare, it can make a 1971 quarter stand out and increase its value. Value of rare 1971 Washington quarters. Standard circulated 1971 quarters, a regular 1971 Washington quarter, in average circulated condition, is worth about 25 cents, or face value. However, its value can rise if it is in uncirculated condition, MS-60 or higher, where it could be worth around $1 to $3. 1971 double die reverse, DDR. This is one of the most valuable errors. Depending on the extent of the doubling and the condition of the coin, a 1971 DDR quarter can be worth anywhere from $25 to $300. Coins with significant and noticeable doubling, especially those that are in uncirculated or high-grade condition, fetch higher prices. 1971 die cracks and other errors. These can add some value but are generally not as valuable as the double die errors. A 1971 quarter with a noticeable die crack can be worth around $5 to $10, though some especially dramatic cracks or unique errors can push this price higher. 1971 clipped planchet or other rare errors. If you have a 1971 quarter with an extremely rare error like a clipped planchet, it could be worth several $100s, depending on the severity of the error and the overall grade of the coin. How to identify errors in the 1971 quarter. To identify a rare 1971 Washington quarter, you need to closely inspect the coin for any signs of doubling, cracks, or abnormalities in the design. A magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help you spot these errors more clearly. Also, a professional coin grading service, such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can authenticate and grade the coin for you, offering a better understanding of its market value. In summary, while the 1971 Washington quarter may appear to be a relatively common coin, specific error varieties like the double die reverse, die cracks, and clipped planchets can make certain examples of this coin incredibly rare and valuable. The 1972 Washington quarter, like other coins from the early 1970s, has a few key errors that make certain examples highly valuable to collectors. While the standard 1972 quarter, in circulated condition, is worth only face value, 25 cents, special error varieties can drastically increase its worth. Here are the most significant rare errors and their potential value. Common errors in the 1972 Washington quarter. Double die obverse, DDO. One of the most famous and valuable errors for the 1972 Washington quarter is the double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the die is struck more than once, and during the second strike, the die is misaligned slightly, causing certain features, such as Liberty or In God We Trust, to appear doubled or have extra thickness. The doubling is most visible on the letters and date, which makes it one of the most sought-after errors in the 1972 Washington quarter. Coins with this error, particularly those with more prominent doubling, can fetch prices from $100 to $500, or even higher if they are in uncirculated or high-grade condition. Double die reverse, DDR. Like the obverse error, double die reverse, DDR, error occurs when the reverse design, including elements like the eagle and the motto, E pluribus unum, is struck multiple times, leading to visible doubling. While this error is less common than the obverse version, it still commands attention from collectors. Depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition, a DDR 1972 Washington quarter could be valued anywhere from $50 to $200. Clipped planchet. A clipped planchet is another rare error where the blank metal disc, planchet, that the coin is struck from is improperly cut, resulting in a piece of the coin being missing or clipped from the edge. This error is relatively uncommon, but a 1972 Washington quarter with a clipped planchet could be worth $50 to $150, depending on the size of the clip and the coin's condition. Die cracks and die chips. Die cracks occur when the minting die develops a crack, causing raised lines or cracks to appear on the coin's surface. In the 1972 Washington quarter, these cracks are often visible on the obverse or reverse design. While not as valuable as a double die or clipped planchet error, die cracks and die chips can still make a 1972 quarter more valuable, often worth $5 to $20, depending on the prominence of the crack. Filled die errors. A filled die error happens when debris or metal buildup clogs part of the die, leading to parts of the coin's design being poorly struck or missing. In 1972 Washington quarters, this can result in weak or filled letters, mint marks, or other design elements. These errors are less dramatic than double dies but can still make a 1972 quarter more valuable, typically adding $10 to $30 to its value. Value of rare 1972 Washington quarters. The value of a rare 1972 Washington quarter depends heavily on the type of error, its severity, and its condition. Standard circulated 1972 quarters. If a 1972 quarter is in typical circulated condition, its value is around face value, 25 cents. However, collectors often seek coins in higher grades, such as MS-60 or higher, which can command prices between $1 to $3. 1972 Double Die Obverse, DDO. The most valuable 1972 error is the double die obverse. In circulated condition, a 1972 DDO quarter can be worth anywhere from $100 to $200, and in uncirculated or high-grade condition, it may exceed $500. Coins with heavy doubling on the letters or date are particularly prized. 1972 Double Die Reverse, DDR. Although less valuable than the obverse variety, a 1972 DDR quarter is still a rare find. Depending on its grade and severity of the error, it can be worth $50 to $200. Clipped planchet and other errors. Clipped planchet 1972 quarters can range in value from $50 to $150. Coins with die cracks, die chips, or filled dies may be worth $5 to $30, depending on their prominence and the overall quality of the coin. How to identify errors in the 1972 quarter. To identify a rare error in the 1972 Washington quarter, closely examine the coin under magnification. Look for signs of doubling, especially on the letters Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. You can also check for any clips, cracks, or unusual features like weak design elements that might indicate a filled die. A professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can help authenticate and assess the error, providing an accurate valuation. Conclusion. While the 1972 Washington quarter is generally not worth more than face value unless it exhibits certain rare errors, coins with noticeable errors such as the double die obverse or reverse can command significant premiums. If you find a 1972 quarter with any of these rare errors, especially in high-grade condition, it could be worth hundreds of dollars to the right collector. The 1973 Washington quarter, like other coins of the early 1970s, is generally worth face value in circulated condition, 25 cents. However, certain rare errors and unique features can significantly increase its value among collectors. Error coins are often highly sought after, and the 1973 Washington quarter is no exception. Some of the rarest and most valuable examples include double die errors, misprints, and other minting anomalies. Below are the main error types and their associated values. Common errors in the 1973 Washington quarter. Double die obverse, DDO. One of the most desirable errors for the 1973 Washington quarter is the double die obverse, DDO. This error occurs when the coin's obverse die is misaligned during the minting process, causing elements like the Liberty inscription or In God We Trust to appear doubled or thicker. This can be a subtle or dramatic error, and the more noticeable the doubling, the higher the coin's value. A 1973 DDO quarter can be worth anywhere from $100 to $300, depending on the extent of the doubling and the coin's condition. Uncirculated coins with strong doubling can fetch even higher prices. Double die reverse, DDR. The double die reverse, DDR, is another error that can appear on the reverse side of the coin, specifically in the design of the eagle and the inscriptions like E pluribus unum. This error is caused by a misalignment of the die during the striking process, leading to visible doubling of certain elements. Although less common than the obverse double die error, a DDR 1973 Washington quarter can still be valuable, worth between $50 and $200 depending on the severity of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. Clipped planchet. A clipped planchet error occurs when the metal disc, planchet, used to strike the coin is improperly cut or is slightly misshapen before it is struck. As a result, part of the coin is clipped off, leaving a portion of the edge of the coin missing. A 1973 quarter with a clipped planchet is a relatively rare find and can be worth anywhere from $50 to $200, depending on the size of the clip and the condition of the coin. Die cracks and die chips. Die cracks and die chips are also common types of errors in the 1973 Washington quarter. These occur when the minting die wears down or cracks, causing raised lines or chips to appear on the coin's surface. Although these errors are not as valuable as double die varieties, they can still increase the value of a 1973 quarter. A coin with a noticeable die crack could be worth $10 to $30, with larger or more dramatic cracks commanding higher prices. Filled die errors. A filled die error happens when debris or metal buildup clogs the minting die, resulting in areas of the design becoming weak or completely missing. For the 1973 Washington quarter, this could lead to part of the lettering, mint marks, or even the eagle's feathers becoming filled in or missing. While less dramatic than a double die or CL. Value of rare 1973 Washington quarters. Standard circulated 1973 quarters. In typical circulated condition, a 1973 Washington quarter is worth face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated versions, those with minimal wear, may be worth slightly more, generally between $1 and $5, depending on the quality. 1973 Double Die Obverse, DDO. The 1973 DDO quarter is one of the most sought-after varieties. Prices can range from $100 to $300 for circulated examples with noticeable doubling. High-grade or uncirculated examples with prominent doubling can command $500 or more from collectors. 1973 Double Die Reverse, DDR. Although not as valuable as the obverse variety, the DDR 1973 quarter can still be worth $50 to $200, depending on the extent of the doubling and the coin's grade. Uncirculated or high-quality specimens with well-defined doubling could push the value even higher. 1973 Clipped Planchet and Other Errors. A 1973 Washington quarter with a clipped planchet is a rare find and could be worth between $50 and $200, depending on the severity of the clip. Die cracks or die chips generally add less value, usually between $5 and $30, but they can still make the coin more attractive to error collectors. Coins with more substantial die cracks may fetch more, particularly if the crack is dramatic or unusual in appearance. How to identify errors in the 1973 quarter. To identify a rare error, you need to inspect the 1973 quarter closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine the lettering, mint marks, and design elements. Look for any signs of doubling, particularly on Liberty, In God We Trust, and 1973. Clipped planchets can be identified by irregularities or missing portions along the edge of the coin. Die cracks will appear as raised lines or cracks across the design, while filled die errors often make parts of the coin appear weak or blurry. If you believe you have a 1973 Washington quarter with a rare error, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded and authenticated by a reputable coin grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. This can help you better understand the coin's market value and ensure that it is accurately identified. Conclusion. While a standard 1973 Washington quarter is not worth much more than face value, the coin can become quite valuable if it exhibits rare minting errors, such as the double die obverse or reverse, clipped planchets, or die cracks. Error collectors highly value these varieties, and they can fetch significant premiums, ranging from $50 to $500 or more, depending on the error type and condition. If you have a 1973 quarter with a noticeable error, it could be worth far more than you expect. The 1974 Washington quarter is generally not considered rare, but there are certain factors that can affect its value, particularly in relation to errors or special editions. Understanding the base value of this coin and the potential for rare errors is essential for collectors. Here's an overview of its value and some key error types. Base value of 1974 Washington quarter. A standard 1974 Washington quarter in circulated condition is typically worth only its face value of 25 cents. In uncirculated condition, its value might increase slightly, usually ranging from $1 to $2 depending on the quality and demand. Coins with proof-like finishes, typically produced for collectors, might fetch higher prices, often reaching between $3 and $5 or more. Rare and notable errors in 1974 Washington quarters. While 1974 quarters are not intrinsically rare, certain minting errors can significantly increase their value. Here are some of the most notable error types found in these coins. Doubled die obverse. A doubled die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin was misaligned, resulting in doubled letters or numbers. A notable variety for Washington quarters, including the 1974 version, could involve doubled features, especially on the word Liberty or the date 1974. This is a highly sought-after error for coin collectors, as it can make the coin much more valuable than a standard one. The price for a 1974 double die obverse quarter can range from $50 to several $100s, depending on its condition. Clipped planchet. A clipped planchet error occurs when a piece of the coin's metal is missing due to a malfunction at the minting facility. This can result in a coin with an irregular shape, which is often considered a collectible error. A clipped 1974 Washington quarter can be worth significantly more than a regular quarter, with prices reaching anywhere from $50 to over $200 depending on the severity of the clip and the coin's overall condition. Off-center strike. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, leading to a design that is shifted from its typical position. While this type of error is more common on earlier coins, it can still occur on coins like the 1974 quarter. An off-center 1974 Washington quarter, depending on the degree of misalignment, could be worth anywhere from $25 to $100 or more. Die cracks and cuds. Die cracks and cuds are common errors that can also appear on Washington quarters. A die crack occurs when the minting die develops a crack, which can appear as a raised line or crack on the coin's surface. A cud, on the other hand, is when a piece of the die breaks off, creating a raised area on the coin. These types of errors can slightly increase the coin's value, but usually not as much as more dramatic errors. In some cases, these coins can still be worth between $5 and $50, depending on the size and prominence of the error. Silver quarters, 1974. The 1974 S-proof quarters, minted at the San Francisco Mint, are often mistaken for regular business strike quarters. These are not errors, but it's worth noting that proof coins from this year are made of 90% silver, unlike regular quarters. In excellent condition, these coins can fetch upwards of $10 to $15 or more. Conclusion. While the 1974 Washington quarter is not considered particularly rare in terms of its basic design, certain errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets, can make specific examples valuable to collectors. Coins with these errors can sometimes command prices well above their face value, especially if they are in high-grade or pristine condition. If you believe you have an error coin, it's advisable to have it professionally graded to determine its exact value in the market. Off-center strike. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, leading to a design that is shifted from its typical position. While this type of error is more common on earlier coins, it can still occur on coins like the 1974 quarter. An off-center 1974 Washington quarter, depending on the degree of misalignment, could be worth anywhere from $25 to $100 or more. Die cracks and cuds. Die cracks and cuds are common errors that can also appear on Washington quarters. A die crack occurs when the minting die develops a crack, which can appear as a raised line or crack on the coin's surface. A cud, on the other hand, is when a piece of the die breaks off, creating a raised area on the coin. These types of errors can slightly increase the coin's value, but usually not as much as more dramatic errors. In some cases, these coins can still be worth between $5 and $50, depending on the size and prominence of the error. Silver quarters, 1974. The 1974 S-proof quarters, minted at the San Francisco Mint, are often mistaken for regular business strike quarters. These are not errors, but it's worth noting that proof coins from this year are made of 90% silver, unlike regular quarters. In excellent condition, these coins can fetch upwards of $10 to $15 or more. Conclusion. While the 1974 Washington quarter is not considered particularly rare in terms of its basic design, certain errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets, can make specific examples valuable to collectors. Coins with these errors can sometimes command prices well above their face value, especially if they are in high grade or pristine condition. If you believe you have an error coin, it's advisable to have it professionally graded to determine its exact value in the market.